Hi, welcome back to Lessons in Property with me, Steve Hand. As promised, this week I've got quite a special lender, and it's a lender that we've been using for many years. This lender's great because they're all about relationships and adding value. So this conversation we've recorded on Zoom, so sit back, make yourself a brew and enjoy. So we've got Dan Hill from Roma Finance today, and we've been dealing with each other, Dan, for many years now, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Probably about 7 or 8 years. I think over probably the last 12 months, I think we've increased business, relationships have gone strong, and we're building a good pipeline.
No, it's been great, hasn't it? So we started off, of course, as a resi and buy-to-let broker and ventured into the short-term finance space in the last, like you say, 6, 7, 8 years. Rome has been a partner from the beginning, and it's because I guess we first and foremost we like the ethos of Roma and what you stand for. That's really important to us because our clients are in the midst of all this, aren't they? And we want to make sure they're having a good journey. So I guess for those that don't know, if you could convey what Roma's all about, that would be really useful.
Yeah, so basically, Roma are a bridging lender. We've been going about 15 years. I've been with Roma nearly 11 years, so I've been since the start. So basically, I was the first employee. I've done underwriting, done sales, done processing. So basically, I know the whole journey through Roma. Now we've got about 64 employees. We had about 22, but since COVID, now we've increased about 64 heads. That's sales, underwriting, processing, collections, and then you've got your leadership team, and then your board of directors.
Brilliant. No, I've seen the progress just watching social media and knowing you, Dan, of course, and Scott and the team, and it's just amazing that just how well you've come on in that time, and especially like you say since COVID. I mean, if it's 22 or so, that's pretty much trebling the staff head count over that time, which is phenomenal.
Since COVID as well, we've also doubled the loan book as well, and over probably the next 2 years, we want to try and double it even again. So we're wanting to grow and we want to build relationships with existing customers, existing brokers, and new brokers. So we want to all about Rome is about relationships. So if the property is local, I go on site as well. So I've done a few site visits for Paul in the Liverpool area, which we've got an existing customer that we got a good relationship, and probably he's on about his 5th or 6th, maybe 7th project. I think with Roma, I emphasize building relationships and also where customers are buying maybe poor properties and adding value. So they might be buying a property at auction, they might be doing a light refurb, medium refurb, or if even ground up as well. So Roma is not just is like a one-shop stop. So hopefully in the next future we should be having a buy-to-let product in the background. We're still working on it at the moment. We're doing a few deals buy-to-lets, but hopefully in the next probably 12 to 18 months we should have a buy-to-let product in the market again. We did have one before COVID, but things have changed because of the base rate and stuff like that. But our directors are working on a funding line at the moment, so hopefully in the distant future we should have a buy-to-let as well. So we'll be doing bridging, auction, light, medium, heavy, refurb, even ground up, and then also buy-to-lets as well.
Yeah, that's brilliant, Dan, because developers, they want, some of them just want flat bridges, don't they? But a lot of them, like a large percentage of our business is the refurb element, whether that's commercial conversion or ground up. And then knowing that you've got an exit product as well, that just gives developers a lot of comfort, doesn't it? That they've got the full pipeline there covered.
Yeah, also, the thing is, we do all different types of refurb. So you might have a house that converting into a HMO. You might have a commercial property that converting into a semi-commercial. You might even have a closed down pub where they're refurbing to houses or even converting into flats. And then we also do ground up as well, where they're actually starting from ground level and building a property.
You want to make sure that, like with a number of developers, they're not just looking at residential properties, are they? They're looking at commercial properties. I mean, I'm involved in one that's a light industrial that's got permitted development to change into residential. So there's a full sort of range of asset types, and why sort of let that client go to another lender and lose out on that? You cover the whole the whole shebang, because there's no reason for them to go elsewhere.
Also, we also like where the customers are adding value as well. So where they're buying maybe a poor property and they're adding value. So if there is a dip in the market, the value of the property has still gone up. So 99% of the time, you'd be able to get your money back because they've added value to the property. So that helps yourselves where you're actually doing a remortgage, the value's gone up. So more than likely, the LTV is a lot less. So you'd be able to remortgage the customer out as well.
Yeah, so you're looking after the customer. It's lowering the risk to Roma as well, but looking after the customer so they can exit out onto a longer term product.
Yeah.
That's key. But something you said earlier is pivotal because, like, clients come back to you for their sixth, seventh, eighth deal. And we know that there's hundreds of lenders in this space, but they're not going out around the marketplace. They're quite loyal, and it's because they're having a good journey. We know from speaking with our clients, they're having a good journey with Roma. So why wouldn't they come back and use you again, second, third, fourth, and plus time?
Definitely. Also, I've got some customers that from the start of Roma, they're on their 20th, 25th project.
Wow.
And I'm actually going to see that customer in the Northeast, actually. It's host and stay, where I've got a good relationship with them. It's like building relationships with customers inside of work and outside of work. It's with Roma, it's all like a family. It's like we want to build relationships, we want to help customers, we want to help brokers. We want them to do well and us to do well. So that's what our aim is, to actually add value. So we're basically part of the football team. We're another player on that team of their journey, or their property journey, to help them to be successful.
And that's important as well, because we know in this world that there's times when things don't go smoothly. You hit challenges. If you've been in property long enough, you're going to hit some pretty serious challenges. And something I say to clients all the time is, who's got your back? When you hit a challenge, are you with a lender that's going to look after you, that's going to see you through that challenge, or a lender that's going to just look to charge unnecessary fees or hike the rate up, or penalties? You want somebody on your side, don't you, when you hit those bumps in the road?
Yeah, no, actually, when it was COVID, we helped all our customers and we gave them a COVID extension of 3 months to help them when the whole country went into lockdown. We gave them an extra 3 months to get off the books. I think there was about 300 maybe loans at the time, but everyone successfully got off the books. And where they needed more money to help finish the project because the cost of materials, etc., and labour went up, we were there to support the customer in doing that. So we did give some customers further advances as well, where they needed help because they may have had a schedule of work before lockdown, but the increase maybe like say 20, 30 grand, and they didn't have them funds. We gave them an extension, and also subject to LTV, etc., where we could do, we gave them further advances as well.
No, that's great. And something that customers don't always appreciate is who's behind Roma Finance. And without going into detail, we can say that you've got several funding lines, can't we? And when clients are dealing with, say, one private bridger or a lender that's only got one or two funding lines, and it's a small pot of money to play with, if someone else's project is delayed, that can affect their new projects that they're looking at. But with you guys, because you've got so many funding lines with some big institutional names in there, it's getting that message across to clients that there's money readily available. So you're not going to sort of halt the progress of their application because you're waiting on someone else's development to complete.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I think the customers as well, introducers, they need to do their research on the lender as well. They need to be looking into it to see how they got many funding lines, because there is lenders out there maybe have one put, and we discovered it over COVID, where we were probably one of the only lenders that was still lending in COVID because we had multiple funding lines. Lenders out there stopped, which because they only had one or two funding lines, or where there was a risk, they thought there was a risk, they stopped lending. But we saw as an advantage because the way we do our lending is they were adding value to the property. So we thought that the market wasn't going to crash that much. It didn't crash actually, but that's what our model is where we build relationships where they're adding value to the property. That's our model, is if the value of the property is going to be going up, more than likely you're going to get out the back end. So that's our model. We like adding value, helping customers.
And of course, a lot of people will know you from sponsoring Sales Sharks for a number of years. And you've been sponsor for other businesses as well, other firms as well. If you could just convey like what your plans are, without giving away your company secrets, but for the next sort of 3 to 5, 10 years, like the roadmap really.
I think at the moment, all we're about is just getting more funding lines, probably building our loan book, and even keeping our existing customers, because we've already lent them before and we want them to have it again and again and again and again. And also working with yourself as well is easy for yourselves and us. If they've been with Roma once and they like the journey, why do we not do the next project, the next project, the next project? And then if we're doing that as well and we're building a relationship with them, we can maybe do a bespoke product for them as well, because we might do something different, because we might have a customer who maybe in Warrington, Liverpool, where it's local, and we can see that we stick to criteria for say 2 or 3 projects, and then we've got a good relationship with them. They understand us. You can sort out the exit, or we can help out with the exit, and we've got that relationship. Why not do something outside criteria? Because we want to keep them. So they might have start off a terraced house, then a HMO, then they might do a conversion, they might do a ground up, but then we want to go with their journey as well. So as long as we can keep funding their journeys, but if it's like, I'd say 20 or 30 million project, then it's not for us. But as long as we're in the remit, maybe 50,000, maybe up to 3, but on a case by case, we might go up to 5, but depending on the experience. So we have got criteria that we stick to, but once we've got that relationship with them, why not think of a product for them to keep them? Because if we can't do it and you can't help them with their next project, they're going to go to another broker. But we've already know them, so why not try and help them to do the next project?
Absolutely. And of course, you're very big across England, Wales and Scotland, aren't you? You're not one of these funders that just say, oh, we only lend up to Harrogate in England. We don't go any further north of that. You know, you'll, because we do business all over.
Yeah, so basically we lend all over the UK. It's England, Scotland, Wales. So yeah, it's good. You see different projects, you do see different customers, but we're happy to lend anywhere in the UK.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. No, that's been great, Dan. Thank you very much for that, giving an insight into what Roma's all about and, you know, the type of customer that you like dealing with. And I'm sure there'll be many more customers coming your way over these next few years and beyond. So thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you, Steve, and I'll see you soon in the office.
See you soon.
So there we are, special lender Roma Finance. So they're great for bridging, for the refurb element, whether it's ground up or a conversion, and they're going to have an exit product soon as well. So they cover all areas of development for you developers. See you next time.